What's up, boys? It's the Nostalgic Gaming Channel, back at it again with some Age of Mythology content. For those of you that have watched part 1 and part 2, thank you for that. For those of you that haven't, why'd you skip to part 3? This is a long series. You gotta start at 1, then go to 2, then go to 3. No, I'm just kidding. You can jump in at any point. The missions are all pretty fun, they're all pretty unique, and if you miss one episode, it's not gonna make a big deal, but if you guys are enjoying the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing good in a comment. Let me know what I'm doing bad. Boost me up in that YouTube algorithm. So in the first two videos, we played mission 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now we're going to be doing 5 and 6. That's how numbers work, right? Mission 5 is called Just Enough Rope. And it looks like just as we're about to get the upper hand in the Trojan War here, they counterattack and take Ajax by surprise, so let's get into it.
Send word to Ajax. The gate is down. We must move.
Sir, the Trojans are attacking the camp. Ajax is surrounded.
What? Odysseus, we must rescue them. We'll have to abandon the gate. We have no choice. We must rescue Ajax. Hold on, Ajax. My hoplites are on their way.
Πρόσταγμα.
We were so close.
Λέγε. Καλώς.
I need some help over here.
And my response to Ajax would be, I'm here, bro. What do you need? Luckily, it looks like all the cavalry has decided to target my hero, Odysseus, and he's probably not going to die. And my hoplites, which are very strong against cavalry, are taking front of the attacks.
Thank you, my friend. Let's regroup at your camp, Ajax.
Πρόσταγμα.
So I want to cheese it a little bit, and I go, I'm already here. Maybe I should look into the Trojan base, but it won't even let me look. My guys just kind of moved to the side. There's an invisible wall there that you can't get through the trigger. And that kind of cold start there, where you have a bunch of troops just being swarmed and attacked, as a gamer, that's one of the most stressful situations you could be in. Those potential extra troops and extra allies that you could have that are slowly getting whittled away and killed while you're lollygagging, it's the worst feeling in the world. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had that same experience where it just gives you existential dread to watch those ally units get killed and you want to make it through the mission and not let any of them get killed. And then you end up suffering more consequences on your own life. And this is a pretty cheeky find here, the Pandora's box, which makes a myth unit stronger, that relic. It's a nice little find, especially because this is like a downtime segment where there's nothing really happening and I am free to explore before they give me the actual base here. In all honesty, I probably could have explored the entire map, not really found any units because the trigger didn't kick in. But we're going to progress with the mission as we should, right? And in this one, we've been granted a lot of pigs, so we're going to farm up the pigs rather than build farms immediately. But one of the most important things to do here is make sure that we have enough villagers, because without the villagers, we're not going to be able to build our place quick enough. And we're even given a market this early. That's pretty sweet. So the most annoying thing about this mission that I remember is the enemies are always sending scouting cavalry throughout your base, and they just kind of run around and do whatever they want. They act like they're paying rent, and that they can do whatever they want. They just walk around and they run away and they don't attack you, and they're very fast, and they don't really do anything to you per se. It's just kind of frustrating that they're just in your base, stomping around with their muddy feet and muddy hooves. Look, there's one of them. I bet you that guy's not even going to attack. He's just going to run around. I came so close to the point several times where I just wanted to zap him with the lightning out of frustration. Luckily, Odysseus has probably the longest range of any archer in the series, and he could just dunk on him. So we're going to try, and I'm not sure at this point when I'm playing if this will even work, of sending my mule to the ally market to see if we can get some money. Because the further your mule moves, the more money it gets. So that first one is unsuccessful, right? Probably because I just discovered it and you gotta kind of rally the guys through it. And I did it while it was in darkness. Oh, there's another relic. That's gonna be good for us. I'll probably send Odysseus down to pick it up because Arkantos.
They may try to build stables close to the front.
So the donkey cart is such a good investment. It's just free gold. And I guess technically if you power up all the upgrades for your villagers, they should be able to get gold just as fast as the donkeys. But it's always nice to watch them kind of trot around and then they come back with a little gold on their back and you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. And I think that guy had 70 gold, that little donkey. That's a lot of gold. It's free real estate, it's passive income, right? It's like investing in crypto without all the risk and without losing it all in a market crash. Hey, for those that sponsored FTX and all those guys, don't sue me. You knew from the beginning. Probably wasn't a great idea. Always do your research before you make any financial investments. It's always the smartest thing I can tell you. I'm not a financial advisor though, I'm just a guy that likes to play video games. And knows a little bit about the stock market and cryptocurrency. Like, do you guys remember when NFTs were we're gonna be looking back in the future and we're gonna be like, do you remember when NFTs were a thing? Why was that ever a thing? That didn't need to be a thing. But then again, I'm not a fine art connoisseur. But I think I can judge a meme about a little doggy and say it's probably not worth thousands of dollars. A computer generated image. But hey, who knows? In the future, everything might be computer generated. We might live in a virtual world where you put goggles on and every experience you have is through the virtual reality and you're kept by via like tubes and injections into your body. Or we might even upload our consciousness to the hard drive, right? And then we'll really blur the lines on what's real and what's not and who's alive and who's not if all our consciousness is up on like a hard drive somewhere. And then rather than having to deal with diseases, we'll be dealing with, and bacteria, we'll be dealing with viruses, but like computer viruses. And then you'll get slowed down because all of a sudden you'll have 7,000 ads in your face. And you're like, oh no, I got a virus. And the ads are like, buy these knives. But you get it 1,000,000 times and you try and X out of it in your head, but you can't. And all you see is the ad popping up over and over. Those will be the days. The future's interesting, but looking at the past and looking at mythology, you can never forget where you came from. And these guys had such an intricate belief system through the gods and through everything that it's so crazy to think that so many different cultures evolved with so many different mythologies. But not only do so many of them have different mythologies, so many of them, and the scary part is, have similar mythologies. Like, think about dragons. How many cultures have dragons embedded in their culture? Like, how many different cultures across the world have some form of belief in dragons, whether what type of dragons they are, or how they're different, or how they look, or how they're painted, how it's almost a universal experience for these like earlier cultures. You know, I kind of been getting into the chat GPT recently, so that's something I try and use here on the side as I'm making these voiceovers. So I just typed in how many cultures believe in dragons, and it says it's an exact number is difficult to give, but they've been part of human imagination for thousands of years and vary widely from one culture to another. Some early cultures that have beliefs in dragon-like creatures are the Chinese, the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Norse, the Celtics, and the Slavic people. Dragons also appear in early indigenous cultures of America, Africa, and Oceania. They're often associated with power and wisdom, and they're often depicted as mythical serpent-like creatures. Wow, that just a name. Basically, what that told me in ChatGPT, and granted, I haven't verified its source or anything, but through the knowledge of my life and what I've learned and just my studies and my general interest in mythology and things like that, I know that that sounds about right, that all those cultures had some at least kind of belief in a dragon-like creature in their history. And the fact that so many of them are so widely spread is just a testament to how much we don't really know about the past and how much we don't really know about even the future coming. Like, what's to say some of these different cultures didn't see something like bones for like a dinosaur and didn't see something that just bamboozled them, right? That shook their existence to the core, and they're like, oh my god, that's a dragon. Or some dude gets zapped and they're like, oh no, he was a bad guy, so Zeus got him. And he just gets zapped by lightning one day because he's standing under a tree in an open field with, nothing else around. I don't know, those are the type of things that, I think are super interesting. I think mythology in and of itself, the study of, is one of the most interesting, like how different cultures came up to these different ideas at the same time. Interesting thing ever. You know what's just as interesting as mythology though is when you think about space and kind of what's out there.
What is
I apologize.
This? Troy is attempting to farm outside her walls?
If the gameplay description is not as vivid as usual, but we're testing out the waters and we're trying a couple different ideas on these videos, and if you guys like them, let me know. If you guys want more philosophical, kind of insightful videos, or if you guys want me to just tell you, hey, I'm gonna go send my dinosaur over to chop up that villager, that way he can grow an additional head, my Hydra. That way he can get an additional head and I can be much stronger in battle. No, but I'm using the Pegasus because they're cheap to scout everything. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Back in the day, I used to just like to use the cheat code to see everything in the entire world and like, hey, is there a relic over there? Or, hey, where's a strong enemy force I can fight? But now I figure I should play the proper way that, the developers intended to. And scout appropriately with the Pegasus, which is probably the best scouting unit in the whole game. I can't think of any other goated unit that's nearly as good as the Pegasus. Back to what I was saying about space is, space, a new frontier, to quote Star Trek, if I'm not mistaken. If it's Star Wars, don't be mad at me. If it's Star Wars or Star Trek, leave a comment below and tell me which one it is. But probably not in my lifetime, right? But in our kids' lifetimes and their kids' lifetimes, I think we'll have, with technological advances the way they are, we'll have somebody on a different planet that's not the moon. We'll have somebody either on Mars. We'll have somebody on... I think Venus is too dangerous with its gaseous planet. I don't know too much about Venus, but I feel like Mars will be a destination that we'll be able to achieve within, not my lifetime, but the next lifetime, right? And the one thing about space that keeps me thinking is, does space ever end? What happens when you reach the end of space? Do you just disappear into the void? Is space ever expanding? If it's ever expanding, is there a way to reach the end? If you reach the end, do you just come full circle like the Earth? Like if I started, let's say that I was able to walk on water and I didn't need any basic needs. If I started in the United States and I walked in a straight line due west, eventually I would end up at the same space, right? Barring... Oh, he used pestilence on me to try and stop me? I already have too big an army, bro. That's not gonna work. But if I was to walk due west from, let's just do a central point like California, right? If I was to start in Long Beach, and I could walk on water, and I didn't need any necessities, I just walked due west. Eventually, I would end up in the same spot. Is that how space is? Or do you just fall off the face of space and disappear, and you're never heard of again? Do you fall into a black hole? Where do black holes go? Do black holes go into different dimensions? Do they go into different universes? It's all super interesting. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a regular guy that likes playing video games, that likes to think about things. So let's see who we're gonna pick. I always like picking Hephaestus for two reasons. Number one, his god power is fantastic. It's not the cool, flashy meteor or lightning storm or earthquake or, you know, some of the extremely destructive god powers that there are. It's not one of those ones. But having his Vault of Plenty, bringing you increased resources from each food, lumber, and gold is fantastic. And if you guys look in the bottom, you see how I'm going over 100 favor. For the Greeks, I think specifically Zeus, one of the benefits of having him as a major god is you get to go over in favor, which is nice because I usually have people praying at temples, and sometimes it's hard to use favor that fast, especially if you're investing in myth units that follow the same resource tree. Like if I pick centaurs, which take lumber, and then I pick the guys that the Apollo ones, the manticores that also take lumber, it's hard to pump out myth units that fast, right? But if you pick like minotaurs and then medusas or colossuses, and they have different resource paths, it makes using your favor a lot easier. And one of the things about Hephaestus is he gives you so many upgrades, but he also gives you the ability to decrease the upgrade cost. So this is one of those long cons. If you can hold off without upgrading and research really fast to the 4th era and defend yourself without upgrades, and there's Heracles, and you can get there without upgrading, you're gonna save yourself a ton of money, and it's kind of a risky play. It's very greedy. It's one of the greediest things you can do in probably any RTS, right? Other than like in StarCraft where you try and 3 base or 4 base without scouting or without building any units, depending on like which race you are, like as a Terran or a Protoss. As a Zerg, it's not super uncalled for, but it's super greedy, but the payoff is immense if you could do that. You save so much money, which can then be turned into troops, which can be turned into getting your upgrade tree faster. Let's watch our Hydras get into action here. I love watching them take people on, and then as soon as they kill them, look, he grew a double head now. And sometimes it's kind of janky, like it doesn't always work. Like that time, I'm pretty sure the Hydra also finished off the human troop, but it didn't grow another head. But the fact that you can double or increase your attack like that, that makes that my overall favorite myth unit.
This is Troy's main base. We'll need siege or heavy myth units from Zeus to wipe it out.
So, with this tiny army, I'm probably going to be able to scratch the surface, but I definitely want some Colossi. Colossi are probably the strongest of the Greek myth units out of all. Now, would a Medusa be able to freeze a Colossi in place? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. That's something I gotta test. But pound for pound, Colossi are probably the strongest Greek unit that you can have. Get it pound for pound because they're gold, and gold's pretty heavy, and you know, gold's pretty expensive at this moment. Kind of a lame joke, but there you go. That's what you get from the Nostalgic Gaming channel. You get lame jokes because he's broke. Somehow my troops made it on the inside. They must have snuck in the gate while it was open. Sneaky, sneaky. You see that little hole in the side of the gate where I killed the wall? I should be able to just send my troops through there, right? So the thing about the Colossus is initially they start off as like bronze colossi, and then you have to upgrade them, and it's pretty expensive. The silver colossi, and then you have to upgrade them again to gold colossi. So although it's the strongest Greek unit that there is, it's very expensive. Luckily I have those donkey carts working for me here. We're gonna bronze up our guys. I might be able to just win on this push once my gold Colossus gets there. This base wasn't very well defended. And they didn't build any forward cavalry bases like Arkantos is anticipating. Maybe because I pressured him too much. Kind of the thought, and I forgot to explain, when we find the outside the Troy farming facility, kind of the thought behind that one is you go take it over and now you have free farms. I don't really like doing that play because I don't like putting my villagers that much at risk, that close to the enemy. Look, that one guy's trying to attack my gold Colossus. He's probably not doing it any damage. I don't like putting my villagers that close to the outside. I mean, sometimes it's a viable strategy, sometimes it works. But if I have that many pigs and then I have that many farms next to my surrounded base, why even risk it, right? And when you hear someone like the Colossus attack, you can hear a crunching attack in the audio. Because it's demonstrating like you're doing a siege attack, like you're destroying that bad boy. Same with the siege weapons. The siege weapons do a crunching attack. And I'm still bad at resource management. Look, I should be building more troops right now. Look how much food I have. You can hear a couple crunching attacks as my catapults and my colossi are destroying things. But I like watching the Hydra destroy things. That's my jam. And he killed that all by himself. I'm surprised it's taking him so many hits to kill the militia. But they could send 1,000 militia and I'd be surprised if they were able to kill my colossi. So I checked the missions here because I figured, yeah, I killed their main base. Like, how come they're not dead yet? But I think I have to destroy everything, maybe? There you go, I have to destroy all their wartime bases.
We've regained control here, Ajax. Let's rally the men and resume the attack on Troy.
Arkantos, Ajax! Agamemnon has been attacked.
The Trojans must have hit Agamemnon while we were fighting here.
Pull the men back. We'll meet at the main base camp and see how bad it is.
Yeah, so that first mission was very, very easy. Build a gold colossi, GG. And now we're on to mission number 6. I hope this works. This is a spicy one, boys. It's not a super cool concept, but...
Curse Troy and those who dwell within her walls. They torched our food stores and tents. Even most of the ships. We'll be lucky to even escape here now.
Escape? We just broke down one of the gates. We should be pressing our attack, not talking of escape.
The Trojans aren't going to wait for that. Surely they will attack again at any moment.
Not if they think we've left. Poseidon is the lord of horses. In Atlantis, a defeated general surrenders his horse when beaten.
A horse, yes. A great wooden horse.
I don't understand. Will it fight?
We can have this done quickly, and we don't have to rebuild any of the siege. Arkantos, I will need your help.
The best part about Ajax is he never really seems to understand what's going on. He goes in full war with a shield and he just battles and battles his little heart out, but he never seams to know what's going on. So, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my least favorite missions in the whole campaign. And I understand why it's important and I understand the purpose of it. I understand the fact that this was like a turning point in the Trojan War, and they're gonna have to somehow work in the myth of the Trojan horse in here, right? So the point of this mission is to get 1,000 wood. Is it 1,000? It should be 1,000 lumber, right? Once you get 1,000 lumber, they give you the base for the horse. Take your 1,000 lumber and start. You have to start building up the horse by taking your villagers over to build it. The tricky part is Troy has some very strong units in this mission. Like stronger than every unit. And granted, it should get progressively stronger as the game goes on. But they have crushing. Oh, I found a relic. You found the mithril horseshoes. Cavalry moves faster. So the gimmick behind this one is once you are building your Trojan horse, you take your villagers over. Now they can't mine anymore. You can't really build anymore. So you have to have a defense prepared. But Troy has such a stronghold here that you can't take them on head on. And they send small scouting parties to attack you, or to scout you. And if the scouting parties see you and make it back to Troy, they send a very large and strong army against you with heroes that could actually wipe out your base in some circumstances or reset your progress. So that's why this is one of the most frustrating ones, because the scouts come pretty frequently, and as soon as they see you, they just run away. And the anticipated way to do it, or the way that they want you to do it, is to zap like the fast guys with your lightning, but you only have one. And I think they want you to build cavalry. I don't really like building cavalry that much. I don't think they're that strong. I'd rather build minotaurs. And the thing is, you're in such an open area, there's no real... You could be attacked from both sides, and there's no real way to defend your base effectively. So your villagers just get picked off.
Run for the gates! We must warn Troy!
Good job. If we
So
stop
kill
these
this
scouts,
first
Troy
wave.
will not
But
attack.
trust me, there's a lot more coming.
And unfortunately, with those villagers that we lost, we're gonna have to rebuild them and then get them back to working on chopping lumber. Because they targeted my villagers chopping lumber, of course, right? I don't have enough. We can farm on these deers, but then we're in an even crappier position out more in the open. So in this one, they kind of encourage you to do the fishing vessel route. That way you can get food easier. Because there's a lot of natural resources here that we don't have to build farms. But they're just so far out in the open that you can't effectively defend your villagers with the amount of attacks that they're going to send at you. So like I was saying, this is definitely not my favorite mission. In fact, this is one of my least favorite missions. The idea is great. The execution. And look, there's just part of the army that's ready to destroy you if you try and attack. That's not even the stronger force. The stronger force is on the other side. Because the ramp up to the main base where they're at is defended by two progressively larger armies. And I kind of messed up here. I should have sent my whole army to go help. Right, my guys kind of get picked off, but I'm stuck in between. Like, hey, my heroes die, I can just come and revive them. And I ended up losing two of my cavalry, but you see they're just standing there, and I'm debating, do I want to even battle? But if I get scouted from the other side, I should be ready to go just in case. But in all honesty, with Ajax and Arkantos there, they could probably kill that whole platoon there without any assistance.
A hero has
But
fallen.
you see me waffling. Do I want to go? Do I not want to go? And at the end, I'm like, okay, let me go save it. And just pray that the enemy doesn't come over and attack and strike me down, you know. Luckily, Ajax is back up. And let's watch our Bill Minotaur do what it does. Launch that bad boy. So on this one, I opted not to attack the main base like I did in the third mission, just because it's so much more heavily defended. You don't really gain anything from it other than pride, and it's gonna take. This is already a very long mission, right? Because this is a two-part mission. You have the first part where you have to build the Trojan horse, and then you have to actually play with the Trojan horse on the inside. So it's a super long mission, and this video is already running very long. I try and keep them at like 30 to 45 minutes, and this one's going to be a little bit longer than that. But it's all good. I thoroughly enjoy playing the game. Unfortunately, everything you do here, even if I were to build the strongest unit, even if I was to build a 10,000 man army, or max out my cap and totally destroy the enemies, it wouldn't make a difference. It doesn't matter what you do in this part. All that matters is you build the Trojan horse, right? You can see they're going straight for my villagers. There's not really a good way to defend here. I mean, I could build additional watchtowers. I could build. I really could build a wall there. But then if the guys see my wall and they run, well, then I'm in deep trouble because I'm gonna get. Scouts are gonna get me.
Do not let the scouts return to Troy, or we will be attacked.
This is the thing now. They got the cavalry. And I'm like, maybe I should zap them. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna stay here for the attack. Get my guys back working. I'd rather focus on defending my at least semi-defendable area with my town center and my watchtowers. I'd rather at least focus on that. And I forgot Agamemnon was running around. And they got a very long run back. I don't know why I built an attack vessel. I think I built an attack ship. That way I could scout the water and see if there was any way I could like defend from the water. Or if there's any shipwrecks or anything I could scavenge from. But I don't think I had any luck with that. And it was kind of just a waste of lumber.
A scout has escaped us. Prepare for an attack.
Well said, Ajax. And an attack there will be, a very strong attack for that one. And I'm still not even at the point where I can start like amassing an army. And I don't want to build any range units because the range units end up taking lumber, which I need 1,000 of. And I know as soon as I hit 1,000, they're going to take it from me to build a base for the Trojan horse. But I figure I'm gonna need at least a watchtower here to give me some extended vision because I know that the attacks are pretty heavy when they come. After the scout, the attacks are pretty heavy. That may even be the army that was gonna come attack me, but I know Agamemnon he distracts them here, and I run them around. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna lead these guys back to my main base, right? Obviously, if those guys attacked me right now with what I have, I would be in a whole heap of trouble. Oh, I ended up building archers. Not a very smart plan, but I do say so myself. And even in this one, they don't reward you that much for exploring. Like, I get the idea is you gotta hide. And you kind of want to be like hidden and not let the enemy know where you're at. I need to pull off some people from the temple. I have way too much favor. I forget what the hero's name is, but he's pretty strong. The Cyclops hero. I don't think you can build him in the campaign. In fact, I don't remember building him at all. But you can build him in the multiplayer mode, like where you play against the computers. And he's pretty strong. I think he's like a final tier hero. And it makes sense. He's a big old Cyclops, right? Big old Cyclops with a giant club. But he's a hero, so he doesn't deal with the same faults that myth units have. And if you see me amassing bull minotaurs, it's because they don't take any lumber. And I love those guys. I love watching them gore people. So I'm like, okay, let me go get Agamemnon and see if that army is still around here, right? But I'm gonna tactically try and scout. And lo and behold, the enemy always finds a way. Look in the bottom left, look in the little map right now. My guys are getting engaged upon. The enemy decided to attack from like the bottom flank. Why would they come from the water? You know? Right for my villagers. It's getting tense and I started losing the supply cap. And my guys are all focusing on this one single catapult with a bunch of units on our base. So I figure I gotta get my guys in there quick. I'm gonna get destroyed. And then hit the ultimate catapult. So I gotta send one guy back. I might even lose my temple here. And thank goodness it wasn't that initial army that we saw. That initial army destroyed my base. You saw how much damage this regular army did. I'm gonna have to cancel my military just in case. But unlike in some other RTSs, in this one, if your building is low health and it's on fire, it doesn't lose. It doesn't automatically lose health and die. Like in StarCraft, if you have a command center and it's on fire, and if you don't repair it, it just dies. So I'm still not even close to my 1,000 here. I took heavy casualties in that battle. I lost a bunch of supply that I can't get back because I can't build tents. And Agamemnon's still dead. So we're gonna get ourselves back out there. Build some more troops. And it's a catch-22 of you're gonna need a balanced army with, you know, archers. Since I have the Minotaurs, I have a good front line, I have a good melee units, but I need some kind of range unit. And most range units require some kind of lumber, be they manicores, be they archers, be they catapults, like they require some kind of lumber. And because of me losing those tents, like I hit supply cap as I'm rebuilding my army here. Oh, found some goats. Save myself from building a couple extra farms. This is the one mission I'm always tempted to just use a cheat code on. Trojan horse for sale, which gives you 1,000 lumber. This is the one that I'm always tempted. I try not to, because that's not the way the game was intended to be played. You know what's funny is, back in these days, when you wanted to use a cheat code, oh, and we're gonna pick a wall here, yeah, good call. That way I can make my temple into a sun oracle area where it can heal people. So back in these good old days when you wanted to, like, cheat, you had to look up a cheat code, or you had to find it, or someone had to tell you about it, or you read about it in like a game magazine, right? Nowadays, if you want to do better, you want to win, and push yourself forward, they just make you pay money. They don't even meme around about it. Just straight up insert credit card here. Looking at you, Clash Royale. All those freemium games. I'll probably be doing, if you guys play Clash Royale, I'll probably be doing a video here about my criticisms of Clash Royale coming up soon. Just because I've been playing that game for probably a year. Oh my god, and we're getting attacked again. And I haven't even upgraded the oil slicks, so my tower just gets crushed by these people. It doesn't give any damage. And unfortunately, that tower was the one that was holding up all my people. Get him, Ajax. Get him, Minotaurs. Luckily, this attack is pretty feeble. It's just a scouting attack. But those guys are smart enough to just straight target down my watchtower. And those guys are gonna get away because I'm not fast enough to catch them. Stubborn, and I probably should have built cavalry. Not gonna do it though. We're gonna do it the hard way. That's how what we do here in Nostalgia Gaming. We do things the hard way. Like I was saying about Clash Royale, I've played that game for probably close to at least a year now. I've gotten most of my stuff in. I'm talking about daily play, right? You get your daily chests, you get your daily battles in. Shout out to the Risky Biscuits clan, right? I get my daily battles in. And I was just about to max most of my cards, right? The cards that I play on a typical level, I was about to max them. And now Clash Royale, or Supercell's going to... Ooh, Perseus. He's got a Medusa head. That's a very strong hero. That's like a final tier hero. He can use his Medusa head to freeze your
Scout has escaped us. Prepare
just
for an
as I'm
attack.
about to get my troops all the way up to level capacity cap so I can be competitive. They're about to raise it to level 15.
Πρόσεχε.
Got him, coach.
Δρυτόμος.
Always money grubbing. But it's okay. I respect their right to,
Ναι.
charge whatever they want. It's a free game, right? They put a lot of time and effort into balancing, and even though they do a poor job of balancing most of the time, they put a lot of time and effort into balancing, and I appreciate and understand the fact that the game is not free, and the model is... They don't have ads in the game, which I'm super appreciative of. And the model is... They want to get a couple whales, like big spenders in, that spend money, and that's how they do it. I can respect the hustle. It's just for the average Joes like me that just want to play the game and have fun. The changes they made, it made it super difficult to actually play the game. I think it's funny how when you spawn a villager, they come in sighing like they're not, like they're being born into a life of work and they don't want to do it. You hear the So on this one, I typed it incorrectly. On this one, because I know I'm not going to be able to scout efficiently, I put in the cheat code lay of the land, right? Make sure you put it in all caps, otherwise it's not going to work, as why I messed up the first time. That gives you the ability to look at the entire map, and I just want to see, make sure I'm not missing anything, there's not anything really cool that I could do, and it gives you like the hazy view of the entire map. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, with the resource I got, ain't no way I'm breaking in there, right? And I know at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference. Even if I kill all those fortresses or whatever, in the green area you can't even really affect, I don't think. But even if I was to kill everything on the outside there, those giant armies that we saw, it would make no difference. So I want to try something a little cheeky here. So I do my underworld thing, and I go, there's no way it's going to work, right? Where I send my donkey to the town center, right? Send him the proper way, and then make him come off and go through the underworld and get right back for quick money. And spoiler alert, it doesn't end up working. And I finally have enough lumber. Thank goodness. Now it's time to build that Trojan horse. So I'm going to stop all my guys from mining lumber, right? I've got the lumber I need. Oh my god, and of course we're being attacked again from the bottom. Luckily this ain't a fortress. So my fortress is able to shelter my people and distract the enemy and give a pretty decent amount of damage, right? To the troops that are attacking. And it looks like the people are focusing on the fortress, the archers. So in that case, they're not going to be able to do anything against it. Because the archers do like 1 damage apiece to the fortress. And let's see how much my donkey's going to get here. Hopefully it's a decent amount. He's got, it looks like 100 gold. And it won't let him go through. They thought about it. They weren't going to let me have it that easy. They weren't going to let me cheese. You know, and unfortunately I unloaded all my villagers rather than sending them back to work. So they just kind of, some of them that I unloaded just kind of meander around. Oh, maybe it looks like they didn't meander around. I thought that I had a problem with villagers just standing around. And I finally get the bright idea of, let me split up my troops, right? Because I keep getting attacked from the bottom. Let me split up a couple guys at least. Build some more houses so that way I stop hitting cap. But in all honesty, at this point, with the army that I have, I probably could have just sent all of my villagers to get in there and start finishing up the Trojan horse. Because once you finish that up, it doesn't matter what happens anymore. The game triggers to the next sequence, and you've completed this mission. Like you're ready to go to the next one. And you can see the Oracle Temple's putting in work where it's healing all my guys. And because I messed up my donkey trader out, they're pretty much neck and neck. And I have to fix this one. But it's okay, I don't really need the money anymore.
Πρόσταγμα, έστω. Βούλομαι, μάλιστα. Βούλομαι. Βούλομαι. Βρυτόμος. Πρόσεχε. Βρυτόμος.
And we're gonna build ourselves to Heracles. The proper way to pronounce that. Get my Minotaur over by the Oracle Temple. Those are pricey units. I don't want to lose them. Somehow this villager decided, like, hey, I want to show my stuff and I want to get into the war party. No, bro, get back to work. Get back over there. You're not Jason and the Arkantos. If you see that little skull right there too in the advanced motion, that's like how you suicide your units in case you have too many. Or like you want to get rid of your villagers or something. So I think this is where I had the issue, is I barricaded them rather than hid them back to work, you know? Get over there, Bull Minotaur. First in the line of battle. And it's always interesting what the enemy wants to target. Like, why are they going to target my underworld?
Do not let the scouts return to Troy, or we will be attacked.
Oh, thank goodness. Now that I got a mana core and a bunch of ranged units,
will not bring a patrol.
no one is not escaping this time. No one's escaping this time. Yeah, see, since I didn't bail most of my guys, a couple of them had trouble getting back to work and finding what to do.
Λέγε, μάλιστα, έστω. Έστω.
At this point, it's a little late for cavalry.
Έτοιμος.
Any mission where you kind of have to wait while your guys build something, it ends up dragging a little bit. Because there's several of them throughout the campaign. And that's not the most exciting thing to watch, right? It's not really the most exciting thing to play either. But here we go, we finally completed it.
Move the horse into position, quickly!
Agamemnon, take the boats and the men and sail just out of sight. Arkantos, Ajax, and I will man the horse. When night falls, sail back. We'll have the gate open for you.
I'm glad you scheme for me, Odysseus. I will return at nightfall.
If we destroy the gate, our troops can rush in.
Yeah, unfortunately for this one, every time I capture that vault of plenty, it just goes right back to the enemy. Which doesn't matter. This is a no build segment. Doesn't matter what I do. I could literally sit there and try and gather all the resources that I want, and it doesn't matter. But we gotta be real sneaky. Sneak your troops through the Trojan
Wait here for the guards to pass. We would do best to avoid fighting them now.
So they want you to do this stealth segment in this where you're not really fighting them and you're kind of hiding. In all actuality, with those troops that they have right there, my heroes could very easily take them on. In fact, I think this mission is almost impossible to lose unless you just
We could make good use of those.
unless you don't take the siege towers.
Colossus. We should try to sneak past.
I bet you if I had used lightning earlier, that probably would have been much more of a mission. Because that was super simple. All I had to do was kill a little Cyclops. And unfortunately, these siege towers, man, they are not the most effective siege weapon. They're much better when you load troops in them. But just by themselves, they are not the most effective weapon. And that's fort number 1 that we need to destroy, right?
Esto. Malista. Esto.
Unfortunately, there's nothing. It'd be kind of nice if you could like pray to their tower and kind of like steal a relic or do something. I think to myself like, hey, I'm just gonna go kill this patrol troop. Why am I even afraid of them? Why does it matter? As you can see, I make it very light work of the units here. I don't even need my Heliopolises. And they keep trying to get in the mix. But I'm like, no, you guys stay over here. I don't need you. I'm gonna need you guys for the actual siege. 3 less enemies. And I'm curious like what those guys were guarding, and I don't want to chase them in through the gate, so I'm like, well, I got Heliopolises. Let me just break it down and see what's over here. You know my inquisitive mind. It's not going to be satisfied until I see what's on the other side. And that watchtower's just out of reach. And luckily, gates are significantly weaker than actual walls, which makes sense, right? They have to have bearings and have the capability of moving where a wall can just be solid. Anything that has movement is not going to be as solid as something that just stay in place, pretty much, right? And we're going to send Ajax on a stealth mission while the rest of us complete the actual mission. Get in there, Ajax. Tell me what's in there. And then, to my big disappointment, nothing. Just a wall.
Why are those Heliopoli out of storage? They are controlled by the enemy. Stop them!
I like how the single troops tried to stop my 4 Heliopoli and my 2 heroes. And then, for some reason, those 2 decide it's a good idea to just attack the troop building center. So is that Heliopoli. So without these Heliopoli, I don't really know how you get through that gate. It would take you absolutely forever. And then of course that one gets stuck, so I'm gonna have to find a way out by breaking it. So I think in the actual command phase, they don't break the wall. And I don't think they get
Agamemnon has returned with his army. Quickly, rush through the gate and take down Troy's fortress.
And here we go. I'm gonna show you guys the power of an alternate god. And it's pretty sweet to see the meteors come down and crash and destroy all the troops. It's visually very stunning and very easy, right? So I want to try and protect my Heliopoli, but my guys are all stuck outside still attacking the wall. But the meteor must have made pretty short work of that first fortress. Like, there's no way it's not almost dead. Meteors give so much damage. Yeah, you see, it's about a quarter of the health left. So I used the meteor on those 2 because I know that's a much harder area. It's much more heavily defended than the third one. There's a town center there, as you can see. Oh, even the meteors destroyed the entire fortress. And at this point, I could just set my catapults and finish it. Get him, Agamemnon, punch him to death. You know, of course, Agamemnon had to come out right at the end, right for the glory. Not there for the whole battle, just there for the glory. And at this point, I don't even have to finish off that base. I've gotten what I needed. And right now there's probably a Cyclops destroying my catapults. Yeah, there's a single Cyclops destroying my catapults. And the rest of them are just doing whatever. So I go ahead, have fun. Kill all those things. I don't need anything anymore. My gold colossi there that give a ton of damage.
Troy has fallen.
And Troy has fallen.
Find Helen and get her back.
We're victorious Greek invaders. Such destruction. Some harmony of chaos. A cacophony of destruction. Burn the boats.
Where to now, Arkantos?
Back to Atlantis. This was a welcome break from chasing pirates, but I need to return home.
Well, pirates or not, you need to get your boats repaired.
You don't think they can make it to Atlantis?
No.
There is a port not far from here, Iaklos.
I'm sailing there. I can show you the way and get someone to work on your ships.
And I have a feeling that going to Iaklos isn't going to be as easy as we think.
He strides among the treetops, and is taller than the trees, and his voice through all the garden is thunder sent to bring. What is it, Kemsit?
Chemos has returned, sir. He lost the trident. He says the Atlantean was headed for Troy. The battle there will not last much longer once he joins the Greeks.
The siege at Troy is already over.
Zeus could still interfere.
Do you question me, Kemsit?
No. Everything is exactly as you said it would be. The fortress, the tunnel, Troy.
Giants and the genie, multiplex of wing and eye, whose strong obedience broke the sky. Send Chemos. I want to speak with him.
Yes, General.
And that's our big baddie, Gargarantis. Keep in mind, he seems like a really smart villain, and we're going to see a lot more of him. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe until we get to more bad news or more bandits. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.